Big order with Joanne. It's a lovely outfit.
Thank you.
How are you, gorgeous? Did you enjoy the weekend?
I loved it.
Lovely,
I
wasn't
loved
it?
it. So much to talk about.
So much to talk about. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with Matt and Nadia and that samba. Let's just address it. There were some tight white trousers, darling.
We weren't looking at that, though, were we?
Well, a lot of us were. Craig said he wanted to work on that samba technique, darling.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Well, yes, out of the samba technique. When he did all the disco stuff and that, he really went for it. The thrusting, the
was
arms.
loving life.
Oh, he was having the best time. The samba stuff, we had some heel leads, we had some turned-in feet, and I think the main thing, what we hear about samba, is the bounce. OK, so he needed a lot more bounce. Basically, you count samba and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And
Land
on
on
the
the
and
beat.
counts, you're up, and on the numbers, you're down. So if I just did a volta, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So most of the time, that is how you do it, and he just needs to...
That's what he needs to work on.
Yes.
Work on your and 1s and 2s. That's what we need. Let's move on to James and Amy. They did that tango. Motzi gave him a 6. Complimented, actually, James. She really, really did. She said his ballroom style was lovely, but said he was a little bit hesitant throughout the
I
dance.
really, really liked, actually. I don't know whether I'd say hesitant, but I try to understand what they mean. And I think what I've worked out what she meant is that he has a concentration face, right?
Yes.
In some bits. And when he's moving in a certain direction, sometimes his head is down a little bit and his eyeliner's down and it's not looking where he's going. So if he was, like, focused on the direction he was going and attacked the space, they probably wouldn't have said hesitant. What I do need him to work on, though, is, like, during the routine, it slowly set back into this shoulder. So I need him to imagine, you know, the little pencils you get in that...
Swedish furniture store.
Yes, there. Have one of those
the
here.
BBC. You're watching the BBC.
Exactly. Think of having one there, so that it keeps this part of him open rather than settling back and it would hurt him.
Otherwise, oh, that's going to work.
Exactly.
Keep it out.
Yeah.
Keep it out. Fair point. That's what... Oh, that place is going to be ransacked for pencils. Let's move on to Kim and Graz with the Viennese waltz. Shirley said that Kim was a little bit in and out of her frame, needed to work on the shoulders because they were getting a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Were they?
A little bit. I feel like she should imagine that this part of her is a coat hanger, and the hook's here, and so she's hung on
pencils,
something.
coat hangers, right? Hang on.
Yeah, she's hung on something. And then imagine a big heavy coat
On
put
the hanger.
on the hanger.
Right.
OK, and that will get the shoulders down. Now, there's something else that will also help her, and I'm going to show you in demo.
Demo time.
Demo time.
What are we doing?
Right, so when you move forward and you have to go past your partner, I'm going to take the natural turn in the Viennese waltz, which is backside close, forward side close. So when you do the backside close, you need to let Graziano pass so you can extend the head.
So the head comes up?
Yeah. When you go forward, if you extend again, boom, 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 you're going to get caught here and then
I'm
it's
going a bit
difficult to
back,
get
yeah.
round. Yeah, so instead of thinking extend on the forward, think somebody's got hold of your skin on your elbow and is going to pull
Get
it.
off my elbow,
pull
you.
pull it left and up. One, bum, bum. So we've got back, extend, extend.
There it is.
Forward, stretch,
So you're
left.
leading with the elbow?
Yes, exactly.
Leading
Otherwise
with
it
the
all
elbow.
gets caught up. Yeah.
Fair point. We're going to take that one on board. Let's talk about Hamza and Jovita. 10 points down from last week. I mean, it was a bit of a fall. Although I don't agree with Hamza here, because he said he's too big for the jive. Come on.
Absolutely not. But jive is hard for anyone.
It's hard for
Especially me.
anyone.
I've stopped dancing for 6 years. It's hard for me as well. Like, but I think he needs to get his weight a little bit further forward in the jive.
Too much
right?
back.
I say to my pupils, to make your feet faster and to make you lighter on your feet, get your weight over and imagine like a goalkeeper. If they're coming at him and there's a ball coming towards you and you need to be quick to decide where it's going to go, they're not going to be stood like that. They're stood like that, ready.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't mean take
Weight
your
forwards.
shoulders
Weight forward
but
slightly.
weight forward over the balls of your feet so that you're light and fast.
Fair enough. So just bring it forward slightly.
Yes,
Bring it
in the
forward
jive.
slightly. Let's talk about Ellie and Jojo. They did that passo. Craig said it felt like they were just walking around. I'm sorry, that passo face was giving.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. I think she was amazing. She looked so regal.
She did.
The lines, the silhouettes at the beginning especially, I was like, ooh. I think what she needs to do is a little bit more the banana.
Yeah.
OK, so have the pelvis forward. But also, I agree with Shirley about the angles. Like, it could be as much or as little as you want, but twisted a little bit inside, like a wet towel that you're wringing. So you could wring it a little bit or you could wring it a lot.
Bang,
yeah?
bang, bang. Oh, Oh, I felt that. Oh, let's move on to tie-dye. They did the jive. Rave reviews from the judges. Motsy said Tyler was the most improved. There wasn't really much criticism.
I loved it. You can tell that he'd listened to... I said it last week. The judges said it, his feet. He's worked on his feet, and that's great. I love that Diane worked also on keeping it compact.
Definitely.
And the retraction, which we're going to hear Craig talk about throughout the series. Every jive that comes, he's going to talk about retraction. It was great. What basically that is that a jive kick doesn't just finish there and you concentrate on that bit. You have to bring it back up.
Ba-boom.
And there's two ways of thinking about this. You can think it like a yo-yo, so boing.
A nice boing. We'll put that on the soundtrack.
Or if you if you step into a hot bath, back up like
and a little.
Yeah.
This is all going to be exclusive to BBC Sounds, don't you worry.
Bring that leg back up, and he did that amazingly.
Babe, you're the best. Should we talk about the rest of them tomorrow?
We will.
Joanne Clifton, everyone. What a woman. Now, our final couple of the night brought class and elegance to that dance floor, which in real terms meant Richie performed a cartwheel, was part of a quick step, and tested a bit of Beyonce. It was lovely. It was lovely. Should we get straight in?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's start with Will and Nancy. They did that salsa. It's all about the hips. They opened that show on Saturday. Anton said he'd like Will's posture just to come up a little bit. Do you agree with that?
Well, I loved it, to say that, but he danced a little bit down to Nancy. She's a little bit shorter than him. I actually used to do that with Dancing with Kev, because I was taller than him for a while, and I was down like this, and my shoulders came forward.
I bet he loves you telling that story, didn't he?
They permed his hair to make him taller.
I bet he loves that one even more.
Yeah, so he danced a little bit round shoulders and down towards Nancy. So what he needs to do, even if his weight is forward and he's doing it like storytelling or whatever, he needs to imagine that there's an orange in between his shoulder blades at the back and squeeze that orange.
An orange between them.
But I loved it. Great body rolls.
Oh, great body rolls. Let's move on to Jade and Karen. They did that tango. Craig, I mean, really commended Jade for taking the lead on this routine.
Absolutely.
You've done this many times before. It's difficult for a celeb to take a lead with a pro.
Oh, absolutely. All beginners, it's so difficult. A leader needs to have a really, stable, strong frame, which she did. We just saw in that clip, she just kind of settled into it. And then have a really clear direction of where your body weight is moving, how fast you're going to stop, how fast you're going to go again. And I feel like even if Jade would have gone wrong, Karen wouldn't have had a choice. She'd have had to have followed her.
She just wanted coming in. We'll go over here.
What I would work on is a promenade position, which is when we are both facing the same way and move in the same direction in hold. I need her to go up and put her chest against the wall, arms out, and practice turning only head and hip.
Head and hip.
If she turns her shoulders, it all gets distorted.
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's a nice little stretch as well for you guys at home. You should try that in your sofa little armchair.
Keep them shoulders down.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
naughty
yeah,
shoulder.
yeah.
Let's move on to Tony and Katya. They did the Charleston. Shirley mentioned that Tony had polyrhythm. Who's that and what does it want from me?
I knew that you'd ask me what that is. Well, as we know, poly means more than one. So it's basically if an instrument, one of them's going and another one's going.
What's like Dick Van Dyke, one-man band?
Exactly. It's two different rhythms on top of each other. Now, I'm not sure whether he was meant to do it or not. But even if it was a mistake...
Are you claiming an accidental polyrhythm?
Yes.
Is that what you're claiming? Is a bold claim?
I absolutely am. It might have been, but it was a great mistake to make because Shirley was like, yes, you've got it.
Is that, for example, if the beat is 1, 2, 3, you might just do 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Exactly. So he kind of hesitated. I think Shirley was expecting to do ba ba da da ba 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 da ba ba, and he'd kind of ba ba da ba and wait, da ga da ga ba.
So, but brought it back
He
onto
brought
the
it back.
beat.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Accidental polyrhythm, guys. We love it. We're here for it. I'm here for it. We're here for it. Let's move on to Ellie. With that, we're going to get that trending. Let's move on to Ellie and Nikita. They did that gorgeous waltz. Anton was really impressed with the beautiful lines, the extension. Did you agree with that?
I got to be honest, I cried.
I had a tear, but I was fragile Saturday.
I cried.
Oh.
I cried. I thought she was absolutely beautiful.
It was a gorgeous routine.
I think what she could do to kind of soften the frame even more. She's already got a beautiful frame, but let's enhance it, right? Head position, chin towards wrist, okay? If we can float it back sometimes towards the elbow and then come back to the wrist, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. She'll have that softness.
Let's move on to Richie and Gio. They did that quick step. Shirley was very impressed with the synchronisation, and I'm not a judge, but so was I.
The thing is, like, when you're dancing side by side, it's not just the speed and the time that you've got to be in sync. It's like how high your leg's going to be. They did the Beyonce step. How far are they going to move, lean over? How high is the arm going to come? How fast is it going to come out? And they were so in sync. I mean, it's fine in a training room when you've got the mirrors, but without the mirrors, it was brilliant. What I want him to work on is frame. He pulls up from the top of his shoulders, rather than thinking these two muscles underneath your armpits, like...
What we put in now? Go on.
Like,
we're always sticking something somewhere.
You've got to imagine that they're like brackets under holding up
Right,
a
I've got
shelf.
a couple of brackets now, put that on the list.
Brackets holding up a shelf from
I'm going to be
underneath.
broke after this, do you know that? Pencils from this shop, brackets under my arms, orange on my back. It's all going on.
Brackets underneath his arm that hold his arms up like a shelf.
I'm going to have to get a trader can. I can sense it. Right, brackets under the arms, I'll keep them up there. Let's move on to Helen and Gorka. They did the cha-cha-cha. Mixed reviews for them. I mean, the main consensus was probably more it started good and then trickled slightly.
I totally understand it. When she said, oh, I'm not naturally sexy, I don't feel
She
sexy.
is, she's gold.
I think she is as well, but I don't feel, I know what she's talking about because I feel like that as well. Like, you wouldn't think, oh, an ex-pro on Strictly was Joanne Clifton, the sexy one, would you?
I would.
Well...
Thank you.
But anyway,
I've got brackets under my arm, you see.
there you go. But there you go, I got that. But I think she absolutely smashed it. She went out and she was strutting at the beginning and stuff. The legs got a little bit, do I use the word sloppy, towards, as we went through. We need them to be straighter,
Just keep
quicker,
that pace up.
straighter, quicker. And a little bit of advice, just in general, I know Shirley loves a hyperextension.
Shirley
so
loves hyperextension.
any step when the arm's going back like that,
You know what else
don't
she
just
likes?
put them here. What?
Polyrhythm.
There you go. Anytime the arm's going up, just turn that body that little bit more and stretch this part so it goes behind.
So
rather
basically,
than
to
just
get a 10
place
off of
there.
Shirley, you need to do that and then double time.
Exactly.
You're laughing. Let's talk about Molly and Carlos, that quick step. Not really much to say. Top of the leaderboard as well. Well done to them.
Loved it.
Clean sweep of positive comments.
Yeah.
Did you love it?
Loved it. She's just amazing. She had everything. If I need to be like a little tiny bit picky, do you see in this video, her fingers are down, she needs to have a nice finger placement like that. What I especially loved about her was how she moved her body weight across the floor in the quick step, which I shall now show in demo time.
It's demo time.
Right, if you were running a marathon...
Oh, sorry, you're talking serious now. OK.
If you were about to run, you wouldn't start by going, oh, I'm going to take my legs out first, would you?
No, you'd
go with your
forward.
body weight first. You'd go body weight, and then your legs catch you underneath.
Right.
Difficult when you're in a frame. And what she was good at was keeping her frame like this, thinking that her body weight was all here in the stomach area, bringing that forward and then catching with the legs.
So bring that forward and carry on with
Yes,
it.
rather than sticking the legs out first,
Yeah, you
even
don't
like
wanna
going
be
to the side.
like that,
She
yeah.
did body weight, and off she went.
Keep it off to the side.
Yes.
Nice. OK, so take it from here.
Yeah.
Take it from here. Let's move on to Flirt and Vito Viennese Waltz. Shirley gave a 6, and there was a bit too many faults. Did you pick up on these
There were
faults?
footwork mistakes, but do you know what? It's week 2. Like, everybody's doing footwork mistakes. However, I will say, you can tell that that's what the judges are looking at. They keep mentioning it. So focus on the feet.
It's coming up a lot.
Get it in your mind. What is it? A heel? Is it a toe? Whatever. Just keep going over it, However, I thought she was beautiful, and I think what she can improve on frame-wise is the 2 curves. So the first curve for the follower is rib cage over to the left, but keeping the arms parallel to the floor. We don't want any tilting. OK, so rib cage over to the left. And the second one, thinking of like a spotlight from your sternum and shining it upwards. That's it.
beacon.
Curve 1, curve 2.
Look at that double curve, hypertension, all these words. Same time, same place next week?
I shall see you there.
Let's do it. It's Joey Clifton, everyone. Legend.